welcome to another edition of Geek Life at the Movies. I am, of course, Steven. And today we're going to be talking about the newest DC Comics animated film, Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. So, this movie revolves around the Flash, Barry Allen, who's played by Justin Chambers, who some of you may or may not know as I can't remember his character's name, but he's one of the doctors on Grey's Anatomy. The dude that has like the shaved head and, well, not shaved as in bald, but a buzz cut. And what was his name? I can't remember. I don't care. Let's get back onto the story. The movie starts with the Flash having a small tiff with his arch nemesis, Professor Zoom, who's another speedster. And he ends up getting help because Professor Zoom tries to kill him and some other people. That's not important though. What's important is the little bit before that, which I neglected to mention, which is when he was younger, his mother died, and he cried, as kids do, but he couldn't get out of his head that if he had run just a little bit faster, he may have been there to save her. So after he and the Justice League, Wonder Woman, who else? Aquaman, Batman, and Superman stopped everybody from dying. And he books it home. He wakes up the next morning, he's at work, and things are messed up. His mom's still alive. And he's no longer the Flash. He doesn't have his super speed. So he tries to find out what happens. I say a lot, don't I? Doesn't matter. So he goes looking for someone that might tell him what's going on, and he goes to find Batman. And he and Batman end up back at the Batcave, and Flash thinks Professor Zoom is the one that did this, screwed up the timeline. So he enlists Batman help to try to help him recreate the accident that originally made him into the Flash. The first time didn't go so well. His flesh burned. Like, his skin peeled off. It was great. Second time, it worked, and he was the Flash again. So, around this time we find out Batman is actually Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father. Because in this timeline, Bruce dies, and Thomas becomes Batman, and his wife becomes the Joker. Which, I'll get to, I'll save it for the end. Anyway, also in this alternate timeline, you have Wonder Woman, who has taken over Great Britain with the Amazons, and Aquaman, who took over a country with his Atlanteans. And they're preparing for a war that could destroy the Earth against each other. The Atlanteans versus the Amazonians. And Cyborg and some of the others are trying to get people together to stop them. but it's pretty much useless. Anyway, so long story short, the Flash finds out that it was his fault. He's the one that changed the timeline because he was such a whiny little bitch. He went back in time and saved his mother from dying, and it screwed everything up. Because he did that, Bruce died instead of his parents. Superman's shuttle landed in New York and he was captured by the government. Wonder Woman was a killer and tried to destroy the Earth in a war against Aquaman. Hal Jordan never becomes the Green Lantern. Instead, Abin Sur's spaceship, when it crashed, was found by the government. So, and then the light took off, so nobody became the Green Lantern. So anyway, Flash tried to, well, he decided to, after he realized it was his fault, to go after himself in the timeline to stop himself from helping his mother. And he did. So the next morning he wakes up and he's back to his normal timeline. There's really not much more to say. It's a rather anticlimactic ending. And there's not all that much fighting. You got the Flash is portrayed as a bitch, a whiny bitch, and didn't like it. So, should you see this movie? If you're a comic fan, I say go ahead. But should you pay for it? Only if it's from Redbox. I mean, rent it first, just in case you're as disappointed as I was. I mean, it was the Flash. The least interesting person ever. And they couldn't even fake it for a movie where he's the main character. You would think they would have at least tried to make him a little bit cool or something. I mean, it just irritates me. I fucking hate this. Even Aquaman is better than the Flash. He may have the shitty power of talking to animals in the sea. But what does the Flash do? He fucking runs. Runs. Everybody runs. It's not a superpower, running. Come on. Even I can run. Not very fast, mind you. But I can run. Anyway. The storyline I would have liked to see is the Batman storyline. I want to delve deeper into the Paradox's Batman, Thomas Wayne. I mean, the kid dies, the father becomes Batman, takes the mantle of the Bat, and the mother becomes his arch enemy, the Joker. So you got husband and wife on opposing sides. And I just think that would have been a great story to see, instead of the Flash. A few days back I had written something about the movie on the Geek Life Facebook page. I was curious how many people have seen it. And someone mentioned that they stray a little bit from the comics. They do an abbreviated version of the Batman. Now, that makes me want to go read the comics. And as I've mentioned previously, I don't really like DC, but I need to see what happens with this Batman. I want to see the Batman pitted against the Joker. They should bring this Batman back for the New 52. Call it alternate Batman. They have what, like 100 fucking titles for Batman? Tell me you would not want to see that. Think about the great story. Turn it into a cartoon if you don't want to do a comic book series. Make it a web series. Do a flash animation, 5-10 minutes long, once a week or once a month. It doesn't matter. I think this Batman would be awesome. And Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Let's find out more about this war. And maybe delve a little bit more into the Aquaman Wonder Woman romance. Because, spoiler alert, the war starts because Wonder Woman kills Aquaman's wife. Because Aquaman's wife goes after Wonder Woman after she sees Aquaman playing a little touchy-feely with the Wonder Woman. There's really not much else I can say about this movie. Go see the movie from Redbox or borrow it from a friend, just in case you don't like it. And that's about it. This movie just bugs me. It's The Flash, okay? The Flash. So with that, I bid thee a fond farewell. Adieu.